My buddy had sex with our friend's sister. Senior year of college, me and my buddy, we became friends with this group of guys that was a year older than us. They rushed us into our fraternity, and they had a running joke between the 4 or 5 of them that somebody was gonna bang this kid's sister when she got to college. She was 5 years younger than them, 4 years younger than us, and again, this was a totally joking thing. That's not an normal thing for guys to joke about banging each other's sisters. It's a joke. A joke. By the time that we were seniors, our group of buddies had graduated, and that particular kid's sister was a freshman at our school. Me and my other buddy, we are living together at the party house that our older group of friends used to live in. This kid's sister, not knowing a lot of other environments, started coming to our parties, and she became pretty close friends with my friend at the party house. So, as the months transpire, the early months of school, she grows very fond of my friend, and she's pursuing him sexually, and he's doing everything he can to turn it down. Like, he kept telling her no, he would flirt with her friends, like, was really doing everything he could to prevent this situation from happening. The one friend that everybody joked about banging his sister, who is now hanging out with me and my buddy at our party house, a fifth year semester. He wasn't very involved in our fraternity and the party environment, but he was still around. My buddy, who I'm living with, he's doing everything he can to not sleep with our buddy's sister, and she just kept pursuing it, and he had I had a couple close calls, but he said, I can't, you're my best friend's sister." And, they really were very close friends at the time. The thing was, like, that kid looked at my buddy like a little brother, and he looked at him like a big brother. Like, they were very close. The situation was it was a tough one. But again, this kid's sister would not stop. She just, like, my gosh, I think it was 4 or 5 times within a few months that he just was trying to, like, turn it down, turn it down, turn it down. Finally, it's Halloween. Me and my girlfriend are sitting downstairs. This girl's roommate is sitting downstairs, and I say to the girl, "Where's my buddy?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know. He went upstairs with so and so," which was the name of our buddy's sister. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm not I'm not saying anything. I'm not even gonna get involved in this." And I let it go. He came downstairs, kind of gave me that look like, "Tom, don't you say a fucking word." I'm like, "I'm not saying anything about it. I'm not saying anything." That was it. This happens in Halloween. Now it's Christmas time. So we're setting up for our Christmas party, and our buddy rolls over, comes in. "Hey, I need to talk to you out back privately." He sits down on a stump in our backyard of our party house and says to him, "Man to man, tell me, did you hook up with my sister?" Looks him dead in the eyes, pauses. "I did. But it was just the tip." It's what he said. I mean, talk about the most legendary line after admitting that you hooked up with your buddy's sister to follow that up and be like, "But it was just a tip, man. Like, it's all good. It was just a tip." That was easily one of the funniest situations that, like, from an outsider perspective, it was funny. But I would say, as a friend of both of these individuals, we were a super tight group of friends as we grew up through college, and to this day, we're all still really tight except for those 2. So you have a group of, like, 5 or 6 friends, and 2 of your good friends are just not on speaking terms because of what happened. They gotta move on from it, right? I mean, I know that it happened, and I'm not saying that it wasn't wrong that I slept with our buddy's sister. Totally I totally see where our buddy, like, doesn't wanna talk to. I feel for him the most because, again, he didn't wanna do it. Like, he turned it down multiple times, and he tried really hard to, like, turn the situation out like, "No, I'm not interested, I'm good." And then, finally, when they did hook up, she told him, "Don't tell my brother." Well, now you've got yourself in a situation because, like, if you make that mistake, I feel like you should tell your friend if that happens, but on the same hand, if she's saying, "Don't tell him," is she gonna tell him? Like, who knows? You've put yourself in a predicament by not keeping it in your pants, first of all, but at the same time, tough situation to be in. Your sister is 18. She can make her own decisions. You weren't even around. And he tried, genuinely tried, knowing our friend and the type of guy he is, for him to turn that down, turn sex down, m- gosh, 8 times probably in total. He told her, like, "I can't do this because of your brother." And she kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. Now I'm not part of the family dynamic there, but at the end of the day, you're looking at a situation where you two are no longer friends. Yes, this happened, but it's water under the bridge. Your sister has a girlfriend or has a boyfriend now, right? He's moved on with his life. He's got a girlfriend. In that situation, is it wrong? I mean, I think everybody would agree from a friendship, the bro code standpoint. Yeah, you shouldn't have slept with your buddy's sister, but at the same time, if your sister's actively pursuing it and pursuing it and pursuing it, maybe you ask permission. I don't know. On the flip side, you still slept with your friend's sister. I think you should take a little bit of responsibility for that, right? I mean, if it goes down that way, I just think it's a shame that they're not on speaking terms because again, we are a great group of friends. They were very good friends. They were super tight, So for that to happen the way it did, and I know, things transpire and nobody can be in somebody else's shoes, but like from an outsider's perspective, it's like, yeah, that happened. Damn, probably should have done that. But at the same hand, how many times did he say no and turn it down? Your sister just kept coming back. And it ain't like he was the only person your sister was hooking up with. So it's just one of those things. It's an unfortunate situation. I do hope that they are eventually at a point where they can get to speaking terms so we can all just collectively hang out as a group again. And, maybe I'm selfish in saying that, but that's something that you don't think about. Like, if you have two buddies beefing, it affects the whole friend group, not just those two. And again, I didn't pick a side because I see both sides. Like I can see, obviously, it's easy to sit there and say, you shouldn't have slept with his sister, and it's easy to go that side. But on the same hand, it's like, but his sister was all over you for months, saying, he won't ever find out. No, I won't promise I won't tell him. Like, I love you. Like when you start throwing all that stuff in, it's a whole nother situation. And I think it's a lot easier to be the guy who's sitting there saying, I shouldn't have slept with his sister when you're not the one being pursued by the sister. So again, I'm friends with both of these individuals. I am not picking sides. I think it was a tough situation, definitely a shitty situation. I really know who to side with here because I get that was fucked up, but at the same time, dude, your sister's been all over this kid for months. He was saying no. So I'll leave the who's at fault is up to you guys. Mic check. Mic check.